Welcome to our daily Forex market analysis, and this is for trading on July the 9th, 2021. Just a quick disclaimer here before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. And as usual, we'll start off by taking a look at our calendar. So before we dig in, one of the things that we have seen was a drop in the stock market, and that was a little bit unexpected by many people. And the reason for the drop was because 10-year Treasury yields dropped. And when the Treasury yields drop, the stock market drops with it. So that's what we saw today. And as a result of that, stock market dropped and the yen crosses dropped as well. So that was that. And other than that, ECB statement came out and they set the inflation rate at 2%. And in terms of RBA, Reserve Bank of Australia, Governor Lau basically said that they are not going to do any further they don't think more monetary policy easing will be required in the future, which is a little bit bullish for Australian dollar. And another thing that was a bit surprising as well, and this is why we're seeing a combined sort of reaction in the stock market, China said they were going to cut rates, and that is a bearish thing. And so there's concern about with the new Delta variant, there's a concern with the new more COVID cases coming up. So that's a concern, as well as China cutting rates and then Treasury yields dropped. So a bunch of these things came together. And as a result of that, we have seen the stock market drop. Coming up on Friday here, we also have ECB and President Lagarde speaking. We also have Bank of England Governor Bailey speaking, and as well as the monetary policy meeting accounts here for ECB as well. So there should be nothing new. Basically, they have already gone through that, but however, if they do turn slightly bullish here, this will be good for euro. So the statement from ECB was positive for euro. We have seen the euro go up, and any sort of continuation of that will be positive as well. We also have employment numbers for Canada at this point. There is expected to be a big jump in the employment and a decline in the unemployment numbers. If these numbers are not met, that will be bad for Canadian dollars. So we'll have to keep an eye on this. And of course, there's G20 meetings as well, Fed monetary policy report here as well. So there can be some, especially in the morning time, there can be some volatility in the market. So watch out for that. And then let's move on to our charts here. We'll start off with euro dollar here. So euro, we saw a bounce off of the support level. Now, if you were to zoom out here with euro, taking a look at where we are in the grand scheme of things. So we are into some support resistance level here. Price has bounced off of this support level, but I'd be careful with this one here. If the price does not go through 1.1870 level, we could still see a decline here, and this could become a little range bound here. So watch out for that. Bias is neutral to bullish. If it goes through the resistance, then we are looking for further move to the upside. But if the price fails to go through today's high, then we are back into, we're essentially looking at a range bound move in that case. Pound dollar here, this one is looking neutral at the moment. As we can see, price has been stuck in this range for a bit. It did come and retest the support. It failed again. Now I'm looking for another retest. If it fails, we are back into this range. And so neutral bias at this point. However, if the price does go through the support, then we will look for this continuation of this bearish move. For now, though, neutral to bearish bias here. We are looking for and expecting a range-bound move here. Aussie dollar, Aussie has dropped here. So even though the comments were positive, but Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar, both of them tied into heavily into the stock market. So when the stock market drops, Australian dollar also drops. So this is bearish. Australian dollar is bearish here. Aussie dollar is bearish. We're looking for a continuation here. And next target is 0.73. 7370. So bearish bias for Aussie dollar, and then below that we're looking at 0.7340, so bearish bias here. New Zealand dollar, same thing here. Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar are tied into the stock market. They're tied into the risk assets basically. So when the stock market goes up, these go up, and when the stock market drops, these drop as well with the stock market. So this is also bearish. In this case, we could see a bit of a pullback here, and then looking for a drop. So bearish bias for Aussie, Aussie as well. Sorry, Aussie and New Zealand, both of them. Dollar CAD here. So with this looking bullish at the moment, big pin though, so I would watch out for that. So neutral to bullish bias, not extremely bullish because of the resistance here. This is an important support resistance level. Price has reacted at this several times, and now it is in there again. If the price doesn't go through, we are back again into the support towards 1.2470. So right now I am looking for a retest of the high, but if it fails, then we are back into this drop here. So neutral to bullish bias for dollar CAD. All right, let's take a look at our commodities here. Silver looking quite bearish with everything dropping. Silver has dropped as well. So bias is to the downside. Target is 25.50. So bearish bias for silver here. Gold here, gold has bounced off of the resistance level. It went and tested the resistance level. And today we have a neutral candle close, which means things could turn around. So last 4 days, price was not able to go through the resistance, which means we could see a drop here. It's just struggling. And in this case, the first target would be the low of the day, which is 1793, and then potentially into 1783. So neutral to bearish bias for gold as well. Oil here, oil did see a bounce. Price came into the support level at 70.20 and then bounced off of that. We have a bullish pin bar, which means that this one could move higher. So 74.20, so bullish bias here for oil. Copper is struggling here and it is range bound at the moment. Price has been trading sideways. At this point, neutral to bearish bias. I'm looking for retest of the low at 4.18. If it doesn't go through, we are back into the resistance here. So neutral bias for copper. Bitcoin here, Bitcoin looking bearish as well. When the stock market starts to drop, Bitcoin drops as well. And in this case, we have a bearish bias. Next target here is 31,400. So bearish bias for Bitcoin. Stock market here, S&P 500 looking bearish. It did bounce back a bit, but if we see the same sort of fear that we saw in the market today, we are looking for a further drop than bearish bias. Next target is 4250 level. Nasdaq here, Nasdaq struggled as well. It did bounce back up. So this is where we have to be careful. There may be volatility in the market on Friday because we did see drops and then we saw price pull back. So right now, neutral to bearish bias. First step is we need to see, can the price break through the support? If it doesn't, we are back, and this is where it may become a range bound move and price may go sideways. So neutral to bearish bias for Nasdaq. Dow Jones here, this is bearish as well. Neutral to bearish, again, price is into support. And again, looking for a retest of the low. This is where it could fail and go back and become range bounded. So this one has been trading sideways for a little bit. So neutral to bearish bias here. Target is 34,150. And then looking at DAX here, DAX as well, all of them tend to move together. So this is looking bearish and looking for a drop. Watch out for the support level at 15,300. If it doesn't go through, we are back into the range once again. So right now, bearish bias with caution though around 15,300. With FTSE here, FTSE also looking bearish, but this is at the bottom of this range here. Now, bias is bearish and I'm looking for price to retest the low. If it doesn't, we are back into the range. So neutral to bearish bias for FTSE as well. With Nikkei here, Nikkei also looking bearish. Again, keep in mind, it is into support. This is an important support resistance level. So we do need to see it break through this in order to continue. So bearish bias and next target is 27,150. So bearish bias for Nikkei as well. However, watch out for the support. This is where it could turn around and then we are back again. So this is a major support resistance level, so we'll have to keep an eye on it. So bearish bias with caution though. Next target, first target 27,500 and then 27,150. All right, so that's it for today. You guys have a wonderful trading day and I'll be back on Sunday with the weekly analysis. Bye for now.